Hi everyone. So today we will go over steps 9 to 14 in the ECOMPLY app, which are focused on making records of processing activities. So as you can quickly see, the first step in this case is to understand what processing activities are. So we will quickly go through this and see what exactly is it. So processing activities pertain to personal information that moves within your company. And a quick reminder on what personal information is: it could be anything from name, addresses, email addresses of anyone that your company comes into contact with. These could be employees, potential employees, customers, applicants, users, and so on. This is the important part that you need to understand about processing activities. What is important is why personal information is moving in your company rather than how exactly. So it should form a coherent, consolidated structure. It should be justified by the mission and general aim of your company. Every time the information moves, it should be in line with a certain aim that you're trying to accomplish. All right, so as you can see, that records of processing activities can also be referred to as an RPA, that is short and simple way of saying same thing. So let's get started. In the next step, we will select the processing activities that are relevant for us or that actually apply to us. So in the ECOMPLY app, we have a list of several different activities. So what we will do, just for purposes of simplicity, we will pick 3 and then go over them. So exchange of business cards mostly happens on and off, so let's say it's applicable. Social media marketing and advertising, does your company do that? Yes, so it's applicable. Sponsorship marketing, is that something that your company does? If yes, click on applicable. We will click on non-applicable. Event marketing, again, we can just go through the list quickly and see where exactly we need to fill in the details of them. All right, so let's say we have a few now, right? So let's stop it here, but as you can see, there are a lot of different activities that you can actually go through. All right, so this should give you a bit of a heads up on it. Let's move on to the next step. All right, so now we assign these processing activities to different departments. So these are the departments, as you can remember earlier, that you are supposed to fill out in before you move on to this step. So exchange of business cards should go, let's say, into sales for now. Social media marketing and advertising should go into marketing. Search engine marketing. Prospecting and lead generation would go into sales. Inside sales management. Okay. So I think we can stop here. You get the basic gist of the idea. Now let's go on to the next step, that is filling out the details of these processing activities. Okay, so we have chosen social media marketing and advertising. So let's go over how to fill in these details. This is an important question. What are reasons for this processing activity? So for us, the reasons would be, let's say, market research. And as you can see, some examples are given here. So ours would probably fall in here. So we keep it anonymous. We get opinions and feedback from customers. So we would say that's marketing research. All right, so what is the legal basis of processing this activity? Here you can choose from several different legal bases, definitely not public interest. So for us, this is primarily, in this case, consent. Every time we go on social media and we collect any information, we make sure there's a checkbox that asks for consent, that we will be using this information for, let's say, marketing purposes. And once the person fills out their details, they click on that checkbox, and that is essentially them giving us consent, and that forms the legal basis of this activity. All right, so data subject categories. Here you can also read the description of each, but as you can see, this could be anyone, right? So it could be employees, applicants, trainees, managers, and you can go through the list. So for us, it's, let's say, customers of customers, also customers. So you can pick several different. It could also be a contractual partner, also an investor, or other. Okay, data categories description. So what exactly is it that you collect in this category? You collect the name. Do you collect the phone number? Sometimes, okay. Date of birth, well, we don't collect that, but if you do, click on that. Residence address, IP address, we collect the email address in this case, and that is pretty much it. All right, city, yes. Social network profile, designation in the company. So make sure you go through this list and see whichever one applies. Okay. So is the data disclosed to other people internally? So now just a quick reminder, we said this is part, or this particular activity is part of the marketing department, right? So is there any other department that comes into contact with it, or any other person? Well, we would say yes, perhaps sales department. So we say yes. And the last question, is the data disclosed to external parties? So do you keep it on Google Drive? Then the external party would be Google. If you use another platform, then make sure you add that platform. In our case, we use Google Drive. We say yes. Okay, and now we click done. So we have filled it out for one activity. Let's do one more just for explanatory purposes. So exchange of business cards, that's quite a simple one. So what are the reasons to establish a network? Oops, here you go. Okay, and what is the legal basis? So of course it is consent. Once you collect the business card, you ask for it, and the person essentially, if they're giving you that information, they essentially give you the consent. And make sure you don't steal those cards. Those have to be given by the person themselves. All right, so data subject categories in this processing activities would be, in our case, it could be customers, it could be customers of customers as well, and it could be investors as well. Okay, and what is on these business cards? So quite a bit, we would say. Maybe the residence address, or let's click address because it's the company address usually. The location. Sometimes social network profile, but I guess we can let go of that for now. All right. So is the data disclosed to other people internally? Definitely, because the card can go, let's say, from us to customer service or to sales and so on. Is it disclosed to external parties? That you have to ask yourself. In this case, for us, that is not the case. All right, so now having given you two examples, we can go on to the next step. All right, so mark other departments involved in these activities. So exchange of business cards, we said that this was essentially marketing, but let's say, or we said it was sales, so now we can also say it was marketing as well. Social media marketing and advertising was again marketing, so it was the responsible department, but we say sales was also involved. All right, and we are done with that too. Now let's go on to mark other companies. So as you remember, for one of the activities, we said, yes, external parties are involved. That was Google Drive, right? So we click on this and we click on add a company. And there we have it, Google. Okay, why did it not add this? Yep, and now it works. So as you can see, here you can also add a vendor or like an external party that you do not find in the list. And you can just fill out the contact details and you can just Google for their address or ask them for it, whichever one you like. Okay. So that is pretty much it. We have gone through steps 9 to 14. So I hope it helped you all, and good luck with your records of processing activities.